The snow came sideways, sharp and restless, sweeping through the cottonwood trees like it had a mind of its own. It erased tracks, softened hills, and made the world feel empty and far away. In that moving white silence walked a woman alone. Her skirt was dark with soot. Her boots were torn and stiff. Her shoulders were thin under a worn shawl that no longer held warmth. But she kept walking one step after another as if stopping would mean she vanished completely. Her name was Marbell Jameson. She had been walking since before sunrise, passing wagons that never slowed and homes that shut their doors when they saw her coming. The cold cut into her face, but she did not flinch. Cold was honest. It did not pretend to care. What had broken her was not the winter. It was the long nights when no one spoke her name. Nights when the fire was gone, the house was gone, and even the small grave she should have had did not exist. By the time she reached the edge of town, the church bell rang for evening prayer. The sound rolled over the rooftops like a warning. Smoke rose from chimneys, but no one stood outside. This was not a town that welcomed strangers after dark. Marbell tightened her shawl and stepped into the frozen ruts of the road. Two boys playing near a porch looked up, saw her blackened skirt and wind-burned face, and ran inside without a word. A dog barked once, then hid. She felt invisible and exposed at the same time. At the general store, she paused before opening the door. She already knew the answer, but hope was a stubborn thing. Inside, warmth rushed over her skin. The smell of flour and old wood filled the air. A pot-belly stove glowed in the corner. Mrs. Bess Millie Tibbet stood behind the counter counting matches. She did not look up. Marbell cleared her throat. She said she could sweep, fold cloth, or just sit by the stove until the snow eased. Mrs. Tremor Tibbet finally looked up. Her eyes were sharp and tired. She said she remembered Marbell, Jameson's wife from the ridge near Stony Ford. She said she heard the house burn down. She heard the baby was lost too. Marbell said nothing. Mrs. Tibbet shrugged and said, "Fire comes when it wants." Then she went back to her matches. Marbell turned and walked out into the cold again. The church door was locked. She leaned against the rail, her hands numb, her breath thin. The bell tower loomed above her, dark against the snow. She did not cry. She had run out of tears long ago. She stood still and let the cold take what it wanted. Then she heard footsteps, soft, uneven. She turned. Two little girls stood near the edge of the square, barefoot, coats too thin, tangled hair. They stared at her without fear. One held a wooden button. The other